What we have here is a Comgrow dryer, filament dryer. I'm showing you the relative humidity. If you heard that click was the Comgrow's humidity release, which automatically releases periodically to push the humidity out of the canisters. For those of you that don't know, the Comgrow box is the equivalent of the COVOL SH003 dryer. This is a dryer box, and it will push the humidity in that box with that spool down, I'm hoping, to about 10%, because I'm going to fill it with activated alumina. And you'll see that with the hygrometer that's built into this box allows for mounting right on a Kobra X and filament from the box to the Kobra X directly. If you have these, it would be a big benefit for climates that have high humidity like where I am. And you'll see that shortly. I'll be putting this box and I will be putting an empty box next to it so that you can compare the relative humidities and how far the activated alumina actually pushes it down. I'll be leaving it outside with an ATLI time-lapse camera so you can see over time, including a thermometer and an outside hygrometer, so you'll be able to see the relative humidity outside and what the humidity is inside the box with its built-in hygrometer. Just going to pull it out very fast and show you what's inside. Bear in mind I have one hand on the Action 5 Pro camera and the other one will be used to unbox, so may get a little jittery. Here it is. I don't know if you can read Chinese, but if you could do, maybe you can source this yourself. In any case, let's go ahead and pull out everything that's inside. So on initial viewing, you can see that it looks like there's a big old hole in this box. It turns out when they did the engineering for this on CAD, they decided that some people may not ever want to open the box like this again. So they put this small hole in with a grommet and a very tight seal so that you can actually open it and then retract the filament with your fingers. Kind of a smart idea. Here is the actual container. Here is the desiccant holder. Instructions in Chinese, a hygrometer, Bowden tube, Bowden connector. So what I did, I laid out everything that came in that bag you just saw me pull out. Here we go. Activated alumina, which I did get from America. It turned out even with shipping, and Amazon was cheaper than trying to buy it here. In any case, here's the only documentation that came with it, but I don't think we're going to need that. We're going to put it together now. If you look closely, you will see this box has a hole here and another one on the other side. This hole does not go all the way through. This is a hygrometer holder. For this handy hygrometer they include the desiccant box, and what I do is I get tea bags and I use the tea bags with the activated alumina. This way I don't have to worry about any of the alumina getting out of the desiccant container. And those of you who don't know, activated alumina is actually non-toxic. And a clip cover for the filament that comes out of the box so that it doesn't accidentally retract into the box, forcing you to hunt for it. Here I have installed the silicone cover that covers the other hole if you're not intending on using this end of the filament box to draw filament from. On the other end is the connector that'll push out your Bowden tube into your machine. I use a funnel to fill the small tea bag, and then I put the tea bag inside the desiccant container. And the way I do that with one hand while I'm doing all this is I make use of this hole that comes in, say, the filament dryer box. So I'll do that, and then I'll drop in the activated alumina. Much more difficult to do with one hand, you know. That is way more than it's going to need, but I don't want to be chasing these things around all day. And it's kind of crazy already. But you can see in there. You can see in there. You have to shake it around a bit to get it through the end of the funnel. So to give you a different view here, here's the bag. Here's the If you shake it around, it eventually mostly falls into the bag, and of course it's going to go everywhere now. Well, the idea was to put the desiccant in the tea bag so that I would avoid getting desiccant everywhere, but of course I got desiccant everywhere and I can't really use it now if I want to have a valid test of clean desiccant. So you can see it's all here in this handy vacuum. Well, that didn't go so well. I managed, I believe, to get most of the desiccant, the activated alumina, off the ground. Probably I'll find more. It's real easy to find. As soon as you step on it, you feel this searing pain because they're so hard. But we'll try this again. Take a look. I'm trying to fill it. This time I'll put a little bit at a time. Oh yeah, I still didn't get my tripod back, but I did manage to just put the camera on top of the DryBox and use the DryBox as the tripod. So it's almost full here. There we go. One full tea bag. Okay, I filled the second tea bag with desiccant. Here's what they look like inside the desiccant container. Usually I would throw a third one in, but that's not really a great test if you have a bag over an area that has no opening. However, this side does have an opening, so you know what? I'm going to create another bag and throw it in. So I filled all three now. The reason I did that was because I realized the top of the desiccant holder actually has holes everywhere versus the bottom, which does not. Now we're going to try to snap. There we go. We didn't quite get everything snapped in right, so we're going to do it again. And I'm going to do this off camera. Well, they did an excellent job with these. It's very, very tight. I did manage to get them all closed, as you can see. There they are. Next step would be to put it into the lid where they belong. And where they go on the lid, you see that opening right there goes onto there. Like so. Or not. The opening is actually on this side. It's actually on both sides, but I don't know, one side won't work. I'm just challenged, what can I say? All right, let's continue. Oh, there we go. I think I got, yep, there it is. Got it in there. Now, the hygrometer, let's go ahead and put that in. If I can find it somewhere. Oh, there it is. All right, so let's make sure to pull the plastic out so the battery will work. Plastic is out. That's right setup. Look at the humidity here right now. This is not a lie, folks. This is the true temperature, 31.9 Celsius and 76% humidity. Well, after a lot of trial and error, I was finally able to get it there. So now let's take a look. Wow, the humidity is all the way up to 83 now, and the temperature in the room is 33.4 Celsius. And yeah, I can definitely feel it. I'm sweating everywhere. So here we go, put the desiccant in, and for this particular test, without anything inside, just to see how quickly the activated alumina can take all the humidity out of the box. It's already down to 79, and the way we're going to do that, I'll show you out here. I have a nice little trick. I have an ATLI Timelapse camera, and I'm going to mount, here it is, the camera. I'm going to connect that to a UPS to make sure it doesn't turn off, and I'm going to put this box right here to where you can read the humidity against the real humidity outdoors, which there it is. And then I'm going to go get the other box, and I'm going to put the filament directly into this box and seal it up as fast as my fat fingers will let me do. Here we go. I opened it, closed it, dropped it in. You can there see the label on the box. See what it says. Yep, the filament is warm. I don't know if you can read that well with all the glare. That's better. So this is, yeah, some third-party filament. And here comes the top now. You have to be careful not to put these locks over there. And if I'm going to do it identical to the one that's already outside being time-lapsed, that means I have to put this part to the top and the connector there, the plug here, plug there. You can see that one's already down to 33%. If you remember, it was 70 something. We just have activated alumina there inside tea bags. Now we're going to close this one up. You can see 70% with a temperature of 31.2. This is the real outdoor temperature here and the humidity. And you'll be seeing that through the time-lapse camera right here. Okay, this is the baseline. There's nothing in here. No filament, nothing. And the other one is that. I hope it doesn't fly out with the wind, but, well, it's just the way it goes. Now I'm going to go to the time-lapse, start that. Today is Wednesday. If we're looking out here at the view at the beach, I would say it's probably, oh, I don't know, 8 o'clock. I could go look. Okay, I mentioned before about a filament cap, and I forgot to mention, here are the filament caps. What happens is you run the filament through here, and it caps it and holds it there to have the filament come out through that little hole and snap in the top. But that would mean, of course, that some, you know, humidity is going to come through. So to make this test proper, I'm going to actually connect it to the baseline unit just to see if it makes a difference. Okay, here's the baseline now. I have the red filament here, and it's currently sitting all the way down to 51% from where it was. This is the baseline, and you can see it's at 27. Current temperature out here is 31 degrees Celsius, and humidity is 74%. The time-lapse camera is here. It'll be time-lapsing, and hopefully I can run that all together over time. View is here, so you could see where the actual humidity is coming from, that ocean there.